Hi, guys. Welcome to yet another exciting episode of Not Wasting a Single Story. I'm your hostess, Dr. Gamuchirai Mutezo, and I'll certainly be poking away with these wonderful guests that I'm joined throughout the podcast. Today, we're looking at a different angle of waste management, especially within our urban areas. We're going to unpack the town planning, also known as urban planning component. Given that most municipalities are starting to shift away from landfilling, what will happen with all of this waste? Where will it go? And as we explore these opportunities, we also want to unpack the principles and the discipline that town planning is, and just find out where the opportunities lie, and most importantly, if we can get the correct zoning to play with our waste. With that being said, today I'm joined by a very good friend and a seasoned planner, Chukwuemeka. I call him Emeka for short. Chukwu, thank you for coming through. Today I've used your work name, Chukwu, instead of the other name, Emeka. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Dr. Gamo, for having me in your podcast.
I'm delighted. We've been having conversations about urban planning in African cities on a social basis, but we haven't had the opportunity to actually start looking at other aspects where waste management is concerned or the circular economy is concerned. But before we get into all of that, who are you? Where did you grow up? And why town planning? How did you end up in this profession?
My name is Dr. Chukwuemeka Osuigwe from a rural area called Ihita Fuku in Imo State in Nigeria. Like the other guy, my parents, both of them are teachers, but my father claimed to be a high school principal before retiring. I did my honors in Nigeria and the masters and PhD in South Africa. How do I how do I ended in town plan? I was explaining to someone 2 days ago. I actually wanted to be an accountant.
Planning accountant.
Then along the way, just decided to. It's an option of accounting and town planning. I think the way God wanted, I found myself in town planning. Yeah, I've been practicing in town planning for some time, mainly in love with strategic planning more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you were growing up, did you know there's a discipline called town planning?
Yeah, but not in maybe towards the end of high school. Yeah.
Okay. So
Because I was interested in geography.
okay.
Yeah, I did geography.
Okay. And what was your understanding of town planning at that stage?
It's more physical planning.
Yeah.
At that time, it's more layout streets.
Okay.
I don't think of the economics as strategic, where you can develop policies, where you can develop, IDP is all about policies and strategic plans, local economic development, all those kind of things. As you know, I have written a book recently on leadership, African challenges on economic and social challenges. So you see where my thinking goes.
Yeah.
It's more solving challenges than trying to see where are we going wrong and what is the possible solutions.
And in that process of seeing where we're going wrong and looking at our African cities, where are we going wrong with town planning? Are our African cities in a state that we want them to be in? Are they perfect? What's happening?
You can, if you have to discuss this today, you can take almost 2 to 3 hours talking about the topic you asked me, because you can't use one blank, one scenario to paint out.
Yeah.
They have assumed that Lagos is one of the most ungovernable cities in the world. There are reasons for that. Traffic are very slow. The population is very high, almost getting to 20 million. So you also think of Egypt. So as you're talking about waste, as population grows, waste grows. Management of this waste also become a challenge to these big cities. That's why you go to Lagos, found is very filthy because the population is high and the government is not doing much to manage this population growth? Are there land available to manage them? It's also becoming an issue. So, yeah, as I said, you come to South Africa, it's a different scenario. They are trying their best, but economically they are building new township. But these township are also isolated economically. Do you understand me? So it's whole things we can discuss from now to tomorrow. Then it's gonna be.
Yeah, and that's why I want us to unpack this discipline of town planning, because you've mentioned quite a few facets around it. There's the economic side, there's the physical planning side, there's the developmental control and so forth, right?
Environmental management aspect of it in a way.
Okay, please tell me more.
You have those who do the EIA.
Yeah.
But if you don't plan well, the environmental management will not be implemented efficiently.
Yeah.
So how do you, in a city, how do you manage environmental? Environmental is not about when you're developing, you're opening up a place to do EIA process. But after you build a city, there are environmental concerns. Okay. If you don't plan well, your waste management can be a health hazard instead of being an opportunity, as I've been listening to other people. Instead of being an opportunity, become a health hazard. Informal settlements, some of them are health hazard because of waste. They are not managed well. Even you go to where I did my special economic zone, Harry Smith.
Yeah.
One of the things I indicated to them to have a place where they dump their waste and they treat it before they dispose it off. You see, these are the issues that in environmental management, you have to think of implementation. When you think of planning, you have also bear in mind the environmental aspect of the waste that comes from it. Even the environmental management of light industry. That's why you have zones.
Yeah.
Where do you put them? Integration.
Okay. So if I were to come to you as a prospective client, right, and I want to set up a composting facility or a black soldier farm, okay, do I need to engage you first in terms of the land that I've identified before I go and have an EIA, or do I have an EIA first? How would it typically work so that the opportunities we've just mentioned, they're not limited because of the urban planning component?
Okay, this is the first advice. I will first ask you to check the land use interpretation of waste.
Yeah.
Where it can be located. So once you identify is it a light industry, so that you locate it in a light industry place. So once you identify where area you can actually locate your industry, you can now start thinking the idea of EIA process.
Yeah.
But it become little bit cumbersome in the sense that if area where you're locating your industry or your firm is already earmarked for such activity, you might not go through EIA because there was an EIA process during the time of approval of the township. Remember, let's say I give an instance, I design a township. I said this side, there should be landfill.
Yeah.
So in that landfill, when the EIA is doing application for approval of EIA, the department knows that site is for landfill.
Yeah.
Do you understand me? So they will make sure that everything adhering to landfill is implemented in that EIA process before approval. So that when you want to use that site as a landfill, you don't go through another process. The same thing with waste management. If you want to put a waste management company somewhere, if it's actually the place according to the municipality zoning made for it, you go through the process. You can't just start. But if it's not a place that is made for it, that means it needs rezoning that might trigger EIA process.
And then that's where the urban planner continues to feature, because I could find a conducive piece of land for my Black Soldier farm, but the zoning is not what is noted. Okay, then I can always apply through local government.
Yes.
Okay,
For
gotcha.
approval.
For approval.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're wanting the previous person you were speaking to mentioned, which I found very interesting. In your business, you might also think of what you call, instead of having an urban sprawl, scattering activities.
Yeah.
So when you locate an activity in a place where it's already needed, it becomes an integration.
Yeah.
According to the planning aspect of it.
Okay.
Where maybe you need a waste management from a cattle farm. Why not beg somebody that can manage your cattle farm waste and produce from there? You need it from a landfill. You can speak to the municipality. Can I have space here and use your landfill? But the issue here in the landfill, they dump everything there. So you have to find a process of separation.
Yes.
Different kinds of material you need for your waste. So in a way, you're solving two problems. You're helping the town planner to integrate in an existing zone. You're also helping in reducing cost for your company. Third, you are also reducing waste going into the landfill.
Yeah.
Instead of having so much dump, that you can reduce the number of dump by using the waste to the place for your product.
Do you reckon that the conversation we're having now is a conversation that's happening amongst a lot of town planners in South Africa?
No, I don't know.
Why?
You mean when it comes to waste?
Yes. Waste, or even decentralized energy systems, like having biogas systems incorporated into urban areas.
In terms of cooperating, that one, in terms of waste, I don't know much. Biogas, I have heard much about it, but I have not got a position where I participate on it.
Yeah.
What I know recently, I have got so much involved in informal settlement upgrading and hospital green energy.
Okay.
We're trying to develop a solar system in hospitals because of the what they call it,
load
shedding.
Yeah.
So that we want to put off the hospitals in Gauteng with the solar systems. So we are looking at it. So that's one of the things.
So just on that note, which component of planning is this? Is this physical planning? Is it land use? The fact that you are incorporating solar?
One thing you should know, in town planning, we do a lot of project management. So town planning teach you how to lead.
Yeah.
In project management.
Yeah.
And we involve a lot in feasibility studies. So we're actually not putting solar, we are doing feasibility on hospitals to understand how to implement solar, install solar.
Got you.
At the hospitals. So you look at the structure, you look at location, you look at the possible best place to put solar system.
Okay. You mentioned informal settlements, right? What are you looking at there?
There are a whole lot of, like you said before, that the area where you involve waste, some informal settlements are categorized into almost 3 or 4. There's A, there's B1, there's B2, and there's C. A is there's no problem. B1, there's no problem, but there's little problem. B2, there's a problem.
Yeah.
But it can still be solved. C is they can't stay there. There's a health hazard. Most of the health hazard comes from waste management, health risks, It can be environmental risks. So it can be a whole combination of these factors. That means they need to go no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's also come to the idea of if you are formalizing, you have to also think of livelihood strategy.
Yeah.
In which one of them I mentioned of them having what you call community waste management system.
Interesting. Okay.
Community manager allow them to manage their waste and pay them a stipend. So in a way, the municipality don't need to get involved. The community can get involved, clean up, but because they have a body, they pay the body pay the community.
Okay.
So in a way, you're also bringing money to the community.
Interesting. Is there a setup of that nature in one of the communities you've worked in, or it's still inception?
It's a strategy.
Okay.
I propose. Remember, in what we do is consulting.
Yeah.
We do from planning to the stage of BOQ, which we call bill of quantity.
Yeah.
After that, we are done. Then you call another company that implement what you have planned, strategize.
Yeah.
So they implement your plan. So the livelihood strategy is what have been put on there. Whether they implement it or not, it's not left for them. But it's a way of empowering the community through waste management. Yeah.
Okay. It's actually a interesting strategy that you have there, because in some previous conversations we were talking about decentralizing waste management in our urban areas. There's certainly a need for urban planners to come in. It's then a question of, do we revisit certain land uses so that they're intentional for waste management, or do we make the process easier for individuals who want to rezone a specific piece of land? Because just within the, I suppose, 3 metros in the Gauteng area, one would typically find some underutilized or dilapidated pieces of land. Question is, can I approach the planning council and present my project? Would they have an appetite for it? Is it something that is in the town planning ordinance and schemes?
Really, I haven't heard about that. It's possible that there's possible of private land fields. I know there are private land fields.
Yeah.
But I have known one in Harrismith area. But in Joburg area, I have not heard about private landfill. Having a private landfill, is it practicable? Very.
Well, before you continue, the word landfill, nowadays it's called a swear word. So you can't use landfill anymore. It has to be a sanitary engineered facility because it's been engineered.
It's just like what do you call when people talk emotional intelligence. I said those many people like us who believe in God, we tell them you have taken the word from wisdom and call it emotional intelligence. Rebaptizing, you know what you call rebaptizing. So what they are doing, they still remain landfill, but if they want to rebaptize it to another, it's welcome. The word is developing. Yeah, it's private waste management is possible. You can create more jobs, and also believe the idea. Like I told you, I like strategies. I like empowerment. I do that a lot by myself.
Yeah,
I empower people where I can with my little resources. It's a part of my dream. So wherever I see an opportunity where a community can be empowered, I strategize and see how possible it is.
Yeah.
And waste management is one of them. I don't think if you hire 10 people in a community to clean up everywhere, every time, and also get them a transport to send it to a deposit site, why not pay them?
Yeah.
I think in a way you are keeping money to the community. In a way also, they are also paying for their services and returning the money in the community.
Okay. So I'm appreciating your interest and I suppose aspirations, right, as a professional dealing with waste management. Now, when you are with fellow town planners, having a drink, just catching up, what do you talk about? What conversations do you unpack? Aside from the soccer and rugby, of course, what do you talk about? Where are the trends?
I will tell you, when I used to work in department, we have a lot of that conversation. Now I'm in a private consulting on the other side of the industry.
Yeah.
What you find that I work with a team who are not mainly town planners. You find that I'm the lead, maybe leading the civil engineers, environmentals, and everything. If you ask me, what do I interact with them? I can easily tell you that when I used to be in government, you know, you're in a unit where there are many town planners.
Yes. Yes.
But now I'm in a consulting where you might find that you are one or two town planners there, and others are there's architects, there's civil engineers, there is a structural engineer, electrical engineer, geotech, social scientists. You know, we can strike up a conversation. If you ask me that, then my area is always come to we must develop for the interest of the community.
Yeah.
If it's not for the interest of the community, I'm not in. So I'll give you an instance where, okay, these have nothing to do with what do you call it, professionals. I went to Rastava for a presentation of a project. I don't like using, a colored guy said he doesn't want to see me. I don't want to go into details on the project. Okay?
Yeah.
But I just laughed. I don't take it personal, but I know where it's coming from. But the issue that happened at the end of the project, I just look at this person standing there, you don't want to see me. Some people are kicking against the project that you people should relocate. The one who trying to make sure that the project go on where it is so that you people can be powered.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You get what I'm saying? Someone I'm fighting for is kicking me out. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then the people who say he's comfortable with people who doesn't know, who don't mind him actually living the same place, you must relocate. Now, you bring out issues. Why, when we sit as professionals, we look at a whole lot of things when it comes to development.
Yeah.
Do you understand me? You first ask, what do I say about African cities? I say don't use one brush and brush all of them. But African cities have a potential for development. That one thing, unlike Europe. African cities have high potential for job creation. I will tell you as Dr. Kamo, if you look at waste already, what you know about waste, you will know the amount of job creation you can create if the government can do the right thing.
Absolutely.
Do you understand me? So, because they are not, some have perfect policies, but the implementation becomes poor.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Some don't even have that policy. So it becomes a challenge. How do we bridge the gap? In making, despite the African challenges. So it comes down to doing the, what they call it, the Rwandan president say having the people with the right mindset.
Yeah.
That's how he said it. But how many? Some people might have right mindset in waste management, but the issue, how do they implement it? Some people might have the right mindset in terms of waste management. Waste management will be a problem. See, our cities are growing. So actually, the right people is Dr. Gamo. How do we reduce waste? by recycling the same waste, making it a product, bringing it back into it. Do you understand? It become a part of green energy we're also talking about.
I'm wondering, is there an appetite amongst built environment practitioners? And now I'm bringing brothers and sisters along this, civil engineers, electrical, you name them. Is there an appetite to create these opportunities for decentralized waste management and decentralized energy generation? Because the rate at which, like you're saying, our cities are urbanizing, municipalities cannot do this alone. And that's where entrepreneurs come in with innovations. But at times, innovations could be limited by a level of understanding by those who can make them happen. So, had you not been having conversations with those in the waste management space, would you have thought along the way that you've been thinking to say, actually, yeah, I see opportunity and I'm willing to make this project happen? It would have a direct impact on our physical environment. All right. So it's a long-winded question, but is there opportunity for the built environment professionals to equally converse about this?
You know, if you're in this field, you found out that the major challenge Africa have is political influence. When I say political influence, is some people tend to look at the political economy.
Okay, interesting.
Political influence in that some politicians stay there and make decisions without proper research or consultation. They stay there. There's this theory, I'm thinking what is this called? Anyway, let me forget. Just the theory trying to give an example that an ingrown smoker
Yes.
doesn't know whether smoke will kill him. Whether he kill him or not is ignorant. Do you understand me? You have seen people who smokes and live long. There are people who smoke and doesn't live long.
Yeah.
So he's in a confusion state whether to smoke or not to smoke.
To smoke or not to
Not
smoke?
to smoke.
Interesting.
You understand me?
Yeah.
So what happens is ignorant. People live long smoke, people die of smoke. Actually, it might be that people die of smoke might not be still smoke. It can be related to other things.
Secondhand smoking.
So the issue, there is no proper research on that.
Yeah.
This smoker is like an African leader. Until we have leaders who understand, who doesn't make emotional decisions, leaders who is not about, politicians is not about, it's not about I'm getting votes. I'm doing to get votes. But I'm also doing the right thing. I have argument last week with a South African. I was giving him an example of Europe. I've forgotten what triggered our argument. Europe and the US, where you have Obama. The father is from Ghana. Kenya, sorry. There are a whole lot of Nigerians, Africans who are MPs in Europe, in US. The prime minister of Britain now is an Indian. The parents used to be in, is it Kenya also or somewhere in Uganda?
Yes.
So as imagine that in South Africa, my own child rise to be a president of South Africa. You guys will be the first person to chase him away. In Nigeria alone, maybe it might even be difficult for me to go and be a governor in a Yoruba state. It's a mindset we are talking about, African mindset.
Yeah.
I told you, waste management can create a whole lot of jobs, but the mindset. Do you understand? The question you asked me, is engineers thinking about this? Engineers can think as much as they like. But if you don't have the political will, political support, that you're thinking, it's a waste of time. I can bring my laptop and show you what I wrote in 2010 about what I call the township economy. It's a strategy. I can tell you MEC that they went to, we discussed this whole township economy at 2010, but there was no political will because most township are not actually economically sustainable.
Yeah.
So that is the issue is if tomorrow we have waste management, which is an area to develop, sustain development, health-wise, in every aspect,
Yeah.
creating more jobs on it, and government are not really looking to it seriously. When I say seriously,
Yeah.
then it's a challenge. It tells you of the mindset. It's not only South Africa. South Africa might be better. What of Nigeria with a whole lot of population, with a whole lot of waste management problems?
Yeah.
They're not even thinking about it. That can alleviate a whole lot of unemployment in that area. They don't even need to put their money.
Yeah.
All they can do is to support with policies, approvals, and other things, and it flourish.
Well, I suppose my next guest should be a politician. Question is,
Possible.
should it be the president or MMC? Because different levels of decision making.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess the local municipality as the implementing agent or hand rather of the entire government. Yes, one can start off with the MMC or so, then move to the president.
I think you can also, if you can get the right people at municipality,
Yeah, because
it's also good.
the point you're making around mindset shift and political willingness is actually really key. It goes beyond just public sector, even in private sector academia, or just as a human being. If you want to do something, my friend, you'll do it. No one will push you. If you want to collectively do something and you have a shared vision, again, no one will push you. You will put your hands together, you will put your expertise together and do what needs to be done. It reminds me of my recent visit to Rwanda. You don't need to talk about it, but it's there in the air that there's a willingness and intention to deal with waste. They're open to the innovations and the ideas. And that creates an exciting platform for entrepreneurs to come through with the ideas and say, hey, you know, I'm here. And the systems that would need to be followed from one stage to another, they're also aware that we should anticipate these ideas coming through and give them the support that they need.
So, yeah, I think you get what I'm saying there.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes about mindset. And if you don't get the mindset, right, as I told you, the book that is coming in January, it's about leadership challenges in Africa. It's about mindset. If you don't get the mindset right, we still be having problem upon problems. So I strongly believe when you ask me, do engineers, the professionals, do everybody talk about that? We can talk about it, but if we don't have a political will, it ends nowhere. I've mentioned that there are many good policies. The implementation is wrong.
Yeah.
Do you understand me?
That's like a whole thesis
Yes.
on its own.
Thank you. I used to tell people, many in Europe and America, you do the PhD, it's linked to a project. If it's not linked to a project, they find a project to sponsor that particular PhD.
Yeah.
But in Africa, you finish PhD, it's dumped somewhere.
Yeah.
You see, these are challenges that we need to start cultivating. Imagine you have this PhD, national government or municipality or company took your PhD, pump money into it, make sure it happens. It creates jobs. The same thing. That's the difference between Africa and them.
That is another podcast altogether, right? From an academic perspective,
Yes.
how we should actually be pracademics, practical academics. The work that we spend 2 years, 5 years and in some cases 7, it should result in a
Practical.
practical
But
thing.
it's government that going to come there and help. It might not be academics. Academics helping to shape this thing to happen, but government should say, okay, this can actually help us to develop the state. Do you understand? What can we use on this particular project to develop this state or build more on that?
Yeah.
Do you get me? So it's a whole lot of challenges we're facing until we face the reality of our problem. We are going nowhere until, like you are trying to make waste to happen, to actually create jobs.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Imagine this waste in the next 2-3 years, if you kick off the way you want with government support, check how many people that can benefit in that in the employment sector and indirectly as well, not directly.
Yeah.
And also solving health problem, reducing the waste in the society. So until we start thinking genuinely and really want to implement it, that's why we're talking political way.
Wow. Well, as we round off at least this first episode that we will be having our encounters, for us this is cracking the eyes because there's so many facets to planning, as you've mentioned, right? Is there, I suppose, some call to action that you'd put to planners out there in terms of really providing a conducive environment for innovation within our cities? What would you encourage them to do differently? What can they do differently so that we see innovations in our cities having the impact that we wanted?
Okay, the world is going through green energy, so let us not shy away from it. This should be driven by universities. Our curriculum system need to change. University curriculum systems, and find how these are incorporated into how there are a lot of discussion along smart cities. Do you understand me? How do we have smart cities? But these smart cities to be greener. Do you understand me? People talk about, you've been to London where you can see somebody, a rich man, take
A bicycle.
even a train, jump into a train. If I tell you to jump into a train, will you jump into a train? In South Africa.
I mean, look, the situation, right?
No, I know why I'm asking you that question. Say no, I won't jump, unless for experience.
Trying to find a long-winded way of saying no.
No, you have to be honest about it. I will not jump. Do you understand me? It's the reality.
Yeah.
1 is efficiency, 2 is security, 2 is even health.
Yeah.
Whole lot of things. And 3, you cannot come from your house and walk maybe 200 meters and find a train station. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For you to find a train station, maybe you need to drive another 10 kilometers.
Yeah, I do need to drive to the next train station.
And you find that maybe where you're going is 15 kilometers. But if where you're joining train station is just 20 meters or 30 meters, you might just, let me jump train, go, come back.
Yeah, I get you.
So I'm talking of what bringing the issue of smart cities, green energy. We still have slow trains, except the car train that run from a few places.
Yeah.
Asia is move faster. Let me deviate a little. I was telling someone about what they call it, SEZ, that is what they call it. They call it
the
City of Knowledge.
SEZ is a special
economic zone.
Okay.
Purely City of Knowledge. It has nothing to do with industry.
Just R&D, research.
University.
Interesting.
It's an SEZ in Panama. And it's booming and it's successful.
Yeah.
Why here we are talking of SEZs? There's SEZ called in Australia, in Argentina, it's just services. Where you have your accountants locate there. They say the headquarters of Tata in the whole of Southern America is located there. So anywhere you want anything that have to do with your accounting, finance, marketing, it's located. It's an SEZ. You don't need to be SEZ, you don't need to be industrial. You can also have an SEZ that is waste management. Okay. Everybody brought their waste there. We see how research around anything about technology in waste management, about technology in research, about everything waste. And also production of waste. It can be food from waste. It can be whatever, waste fertilizer. So when you take of this SEZ, it's waste. So every company dumped their waste there. Just imagine. And those waste are converted. So it's about of smart city.
As you are speaking, I'm just reminded that conversations like this are important.
Thank you.
Right? Important to shift the mindset because you don't know what you don't know until you're exposed to it. You remind me of the participants, the town planning participants I had in my research between Ghana, SA, and Ethiopia. And these participants are not privy to various components of waste or even terminologies. So, as I've mentioned, today we've broken the ice, but there certainly needs to be more conversations within the planning space so that words such as smart city or material recycling facility or waste SEZs become part of the planning process and we won't limit or slow down innovation.
Exactly.
Guys, I hope that you've drawn a lot of insights from this conversation, especially those who've got innovations that they would like to incorporate within our towns and cities. You've got an indication of where to go, who to speak to, and the direction in which the planning profession can be in. So if you are a town planner who's always wondered how to play within the green space, these are the subspaces that are evolving. If you're an academic within the planning space wondering how the curriculum should change, well, these are some of those points. So until the next episode, thank you so much, Dr. Chukwuemeka Osuigwe, for joining me on the Green Couch. It's really been such a treat, and I'm sure that everyone who watches this will draw a lot of insight and knowledge. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Dr. Gamu. You're welcome.
Great.
Yeah, God bless you.
Amen.